Matt, resources, right, your former portfolio. I can't believe what Labor's doing to the resources sector, which is our biggest sector. If we kill that, this country, I mean it, is stuffed. I mean, it pays for everything. Yet, we've got now, on top of everything else, something called the safeguards mechanism. Now, it affects 58 of our miners. It affects our biggest companies. The government's saying, listen, every year progressively you've got to cut your emissions to the point where I think a third of the emissions have got to go in the rest of this decade or something. And if they don't do that, heavy fines. And now we're being told, well, this is going to close some mines. What are they doing?
Well, I'm not surprised, Andrew. I was trying to warn about this. I was shouting it from the rooftops for the past year. But what angers me the most is the major companies that you talk about have come out today and warned about job losses because
Where were they before?
Where were they before? They weren't saying this a year ago because they were worried about a Labor government. They were worried about being penalised by Labor. They were scared. And to link it back to our previous discussion, the one thing that came out, I didn't realise myself, that Cardinal Pell's model was be not afraid. And it would be much better if a lot of our high-end, high-paid corporate executives could show a little bit more courage and be not afraid. And actually come out and tell the truth. Because the truth is this is not a safeguard mechanism. It's not a mechanism, it's a tax. It's a tax on doing business and investing in this country. It's certainly nothing safe about it. It's going to put at risk thousands of jobs around the country. This tax, keep in mind, it's not just about coal or gas. It also applies, these reductions, these fines, applies to almost every iron ore mine in the country. It applies to our copper and gold mines because they're heavy users of diesel. It applies to what's left of our manufacturing sector. They've even put on the list, inexplicably left on the list, our last remaining fertiliser plant in this country, a urea fertilising plant. It's due to shut. It's due to shut this year, but they're still put on the list to try and tax it to make sure they seal the deal. We need to have
prices in fertiliser in the last year,
and that's why for people viewing this, that's why your grocery bills are going up.
Because the farmers...
People don't understand that you do eat fossil fuels. Don't believe what those ignorant activists put on their placards. Half of the world's food comes from fertilisers made from natural gas. And after this year, we will not make urea, which is that type of fertiliser. We will not make that in the country. So basically half of our food needs will be reliant on urea made in the Middle East or China or Russia or some other country.
Russia's a big maker. And China, Russia and China. And it'll be used, I think, as a bargaining chip because it is actually crucial to the food supplies. Matt Canavan, thank you so much for your time.